They thought they could silence him forever. But what they didn't know was that the whole world was already listening. Script begins. The studio lights cut through the thick air like a spotlight on a battlefield. Cameras rolled, capturing every detail. But this was no ordinary interview. CNN International had booked Captain Ibrahim Traoré for their primetime show, a rare opportunity to hear from the man the world buzzed about. From Washington to Ouagadougou, millions were watching. Opposite him sat Claire Reynolds, a journalist known for her sharp, unforgiving questions. She leaned forward, lips curling with skepticism before he even spoke. Her first words struck like a whip. "Captain, some say you're just another military man playing politics in a poor African country. What makes you different?" A silence fell, thick, heavy, unbearable. Children in distant villages sat bolt upright. Elders leaned closer to their radios, and millions of eyes held steady on the screen. Traoré didn't blink. His uniform was immaculate, his gaze steady. Claire pressed on, her voice cold. "You came to power in a coup. Many say that's dishonorable. Are you just another strong man with a polished PR facade?" The online world exploded, some cheering, others outraged. But Traoré smiled, not a smirk, but a calm, knowing smile. "Madam," he began softly, "when you hear a child cry from hunger night after night for 3 years, and your leaders do nothing, is it honorable to remain silent?" Claire blinked, momentarily unsettled. "When foreign troops occupy your land, but protect minds over mothers, is that still democracy?" His words landed like thunder. For the first time, Claire looked down, almost ashamed. Then she flipped her notes, steeling herself. "Let's talk about human rights. Reporters banned, opposition jailed. Is this Burkina Faso under your watch?" Traoré's eyes darkened, haunted yet steady. "Let me tell you a story. At 16, he said, he saw his father cry for the first time. A simple farmer pushed from his land without warning as foreign soldiers bulldozed their home. Traoré watched helplessly as his father fell to the ground. The room was silent. Even Claire's neutral mask cracked as the raw pain soaked the air. "That night," he whispered, "my father didn't eat. He told me, 'Ibrahim, if you ever have the power to stop this from happening to another child, don't be afraid.'" Millions of viewers wiped tears. Traoré leaned forward, voice steady. "I'm not playing politics. I'm standing where my father couldn't." Claire opened her mouth, then closed it. Tears gleamed in her eyes, unspoken and real. She tried one last time. "So, your pain gives you power." "Pain," he replied, "only becomes power when it serves others." He pulled from his pocket a worn photograph. "This is my friend Adama. We trained together. He died protecting villagers with only a whistle to warn them." Claire stared at the photo, the weight of his burden sinking in. "He is why I lead. Mothers in my country sleep with one eye open because people like Adama pay the price so others can live." The control room whispered. This wasn't going as planned. Claire softened, but pressed on. "What about democracy? Free press? Elections? Some say you fear the people's vote." Traoré reached into his jacket and placed a folded letter on the table. "This was written by Mariam, a teacher kidnapped 2 years ago. We found it after rescuing her village, but she didn't survive." Claire's eyes filled as she read the letter aloud. "Tell Awa I died so she could study freely. Tell her never to run from books. Tell her to become a lawyer." The room froze. "When I delay elections," Traoré said quietly, "it's not because I don't believe in democracy. It's because democracy must be safe first. Safe for daughters like Mariam's." Claire closed her notebook. In that moment, she was no longer a journalist, but a mother. The broadcast went viral. Hashtags trended. Truth for Traoré. Voice for the voiceless. Millions felt the weight of the story. Claire, moved and visibly shaken, apologized live. "Captain, forgive me. I didn't come here expecting to feel this. Traore nodded, humble. You asked the questions the world needed to hear. That takes courage. Then something extraordinary. Claire stood, facing the camera. I want to apologize, not just to you, but to the people I misunderstood. Sometimes we listen with our ears, but not our hearts. They shook hands on live television. The audience erupted. In Burkina Faso, elders wiped tears. Young men hugged their mothers. This wasn't just news, it was healing. But the story didn't end there. Hours later, a sealed envelope arrived at CNN. No return address. Inside, a photo of a young woman, dirt-streaked, tears cutting her cheeks. Behind her, armed guards and a gold mine fence. This is the real Burkina Faso, the note warned. You showed a lie. Tell Traore to stop, before more disappear. Claire's hands shook. They investigated. The mine belonged to a powerful foreign conglomerate. The woman was 22, forced into labor for protesting land theft. Claire's world shifted again. The woman was the real reason behind Traore's fight. Meanwhile, Traore stood before a packed hall in Ouagadougou. They want to make her invisible, he said, holding up the photo. But we will carry her story on our backs. The crowd wept and applauded, but darkness was gathering. That night, an anonymous legal threat demanded the mine's silence, warning of sanctions if the interview aired again. Claire whispered, "They're afraid of the truth." Traore said nothing. Instead, he visited the cracked walls of a school where Miriam had taught. Children sang quietly. One little girl stood. "My mama said you carry voices on your shoulders," she said softly. He knelt and met her eyes. "Awa," she whispered, Miriam's daughter. His throat tightened as he handed her Miriam's letter. A photo of that moment went viral, but power was still plotting. At 2 a.m., a cargo jet filled with suspicious crates tried to leave Burkina Faso. Traore, tipped off by a mechanic, arrived with just 2 soldiers. He stood alone on the tarmac as engines roared. Soldiers forced open a trunk. Inside were satellite phones, cash bricks, dossiers marked influence ops, plans to silence local leaders. Traore looked at the mechanic's tears and said quietly, "Tell the world what you saw. Fear ends tonight." The world was watching. The news spread like wildfire. Dawn broke over the dark runway. The hashtag #NarDark1Man runway trended globally. Millions asked, how far will he go to protect his people? Claire returned with a small crew to the mining town of Senzo, where children toiled under armed watch. When guns rose to stop them filming, Traore stepped forward, calm. "I'm Ibrahim. Your bosses lied. The whole world is watching." Rifles lowered. Claire's short film, Stolen Gold, Stolen Childhoods, hit 10 million views overnight. But threats came. Claire's phone buzzed. "Stop now, or the girl disappears." The photo of Awa, Miriam's daughter, sent chills down her spine. Storm clouds rolled over Ouagadougou as Traore raced through crowded streets. Awa had vanished, lured away during recess. In the pouring rain, Traore found her tied to a pillar, eyes wide with terror. A phone streamed the kidnapper's live broadcast, meant to break him in front of millions. A masked man stepped forward, pistol raised. "Walk away, or the child dies." Traore met his gaze, steady. "You're trembling. Even your hand knows this is wrong." Thunder cracked. For one breath, time stopped. Then tears fell through the mask, a forced miner, broken and desperate. Traore untied Awa, wrapped his jacket around her. "The world just saw who the real prisoners are," he said softly. Hope thundered louder than the storm. Claire appeared the next day, eyes wet. "I was wrong. I didn't see the truth until I stood in that mine, saw that child tied in the dark, and the man who risked everything for her." She held up Traore's worn journal. "Leadership is not loudness. It's carrying pain so others don't have to." Millions wept. Doubters became believers. But the threats weren't over. A plot to assassinate Traore was foiled thanks to a janitor's courage. When truth runs, what hope do the people have? Traore said, refusing to hide. Back in the countryside, an old woman gave him a parcel. Inside, hundreds of handwritten letters from children, farmers, mothers, messages of hope and thanks. One read, "If you ever get tired, rest here. We will guard your dreams." Another said, "You didn't become our leader, you became our heart." Traore read by kerosene light, silent tears falling. "You've carried the nation," Yaba said. "Now let the nation carry you." That night Traore whispered to the moonlight, "We're almost there." Across the world, the story spread. The quiet lion who roared for justice, for dignity, for every forgotten child. Then, a letter written months before, never meant to be seen, revealed his greatest fear, not death, but failure. He wondered, will they hate me for not doing enough, for choosing peace when war seemed easier? Claire read the letter live, sobbing with the world, but the greatest surprise was yet to come. A barefoot boy named Moise, 9 years old, walked 12 miles with a letter. "I don't want food," the letter said. "I want to be like you when I grow up. Please don't give up." Traore knelt, hugged him, whispered, "You've already made it, my son." That image went viral, a symbol of hope, of leadership, of love, and the man they tried to silence became the heartbeat of a continent.